What if one small invitation could quietly shake the foundation of a marriage? Ryan never thought much about charity events. His weekends were usually simple: coffee with Sophie, grocery shopping, maybe a movie at night. Life in Portland felt steady, predictable. He liked it that way. But lately, something in his marriage felt off. Sophie smiled, but her eyes often looked tired. She held her phone closer than before. She said she was busy with work. Ryan wanted to believe her. He told himself every marriage had seasons. Then Patricia called. His mother-in-law rarely phoned him directly. She usually texted Sophie. So when Ryan saw her name on his screen that Thursday evening, he felt a small wave of surprise. "Ryan," Patricia said warmly, "there's a charity run this Saturday. I signed up. I would love for you to join me." He laughed softly. "You want me to run?" "Yes," she said. "And I'd like to talk." The way she said those last words made him pause. Calm. Serious. Almost planned. Sophie was leaving for a marketing conference in Vancouver that same weekend. Ryan mentioned the call to her while they packed her suitcase. "That's nice," Sophie said casually. "Mom loves those events." "You don't think it's strange she asked me?" he asked. Sophie shrugged. "She likes you." That answer didn't fully settle him. Saturday morning came with gray skies and cool air. The park downtown was alive with energy. Volunteers handed out race numbers. Families took photos. Music played softly through speakers. Patricia stood near the start line, wearing a navy jacket and bright white sneakers. She looked confident, almost glowing. "I'm glad you came," she said, giving him a quick hug. "Of course," Ryan replied. "You said we needed to talk." Patricia smiled gently. "We will." The race began. Runners moved together in a steady wave. At first, they ran in silence. Only the sound of shoes hitting pavement and light breathing filled the space between them. After a few minutes, Patricia spoke. "Marriage is harder than people admit." Ryan glanced at her. "Sometimes." "She's been quiet lately," Patricia added. He felt a small tension in his chest. "Sophie talks to you about us?" "She talks," Patricia said carefully. "But not completely." They passed a row of cheering volunteers. Ryan focused on his pace, but his mind raced faster than his body. "What do you mean?" he asked. Patricia kept her eyes forward. "She's confused." "About what?" "About her past. About her future." Rain began to fall lightly. The air grew colder. Ryan's voice lowered. "Is there someone else?" Patricia didn't answer right away. That silence felt heavy. "There's an old name that came back into her life," she said finally. Ryan's heartbeat sped up. "Who?" "Someone she once planned to marry." The words hit him like a sudden drop in temperature. "She told me he sent a message," Patricia continued. "She said it was harmless." "And you don't think it is?" Ryan asked. "I think emotions are never harmless," Patricia replied. They reached a sharp turn in the path. The crowd tightened. For a moment, they had to slow down. Ryan's thoughts felt loud. An old fiancé. A message. Why hadn't Sophie mentioned it clearly? "When did this happen?" he asked. "Last month," Patricia said. "She said she handled it." "And did she?" Patricia looked at him then. Really looked at him. "That's what worries me." The rain grew heavier. Drops ran down Ryan's face, mixing with sweat. He felt exposed, like the weather matched his thoughts. "She wouldn't cheat," he said firmly, almost convincing himself. "I didn't say she would," Patricia replied softly. "But unresolved feelings can be dangerous." They passed the halfway mark. A volunteer handed them water. Ryan barely noticed. "Why tell me this?" he asked. "Why not let us figure it out?" Patricia slowed her pace. "Because I've seen this before." "Seen what?" "A good marriage slowly fall apart." "Because no one spoke up." They stepped aside near a tree as runners passed. Patricia's voice lowered. "I found her looking at old photos," she said. "Late at night." Ryan felt something twist inside him. You were going through her phone? She left it open, Patricia answered calmly. I wasn't searching. But I saw enough. He felt anger rise, not just at Sophie, but at the situation. So this run was planned? Yes, Patricia said honestly. I needed to know if you were willing to fight. For what? He asked. For her heart. The simplicity of that sentence shook him more than anything else. They returned to the course, jogging slowly now. The finish line was close. She still loves you, Patricia added. But love can get lost when the past comes knocking. Ryan's throat felt dry. Has she spoken to him more than once? Patricia hesitated again. I don't know how far it's gone. That hesitation said everything. They crossed the finish line without celebration. People clapped around them, but Ryan felt distant from the noise under a white tent. Patricia handed him a towel. I'm not trying to destroy your trust, she said. I'm trying to save it. He stared at the ground. Does she still have feelings? She never fully healed from how it ended, Patricia replied. That kind of pain doesn't disappear. It hides. Ryan nodded slowly. His thoughts were sharp, clear, and painful all at once. When he drove home, the streets looked different somehow. Familiar, yet uncertain. His phone buzzed. A message from Sophie. Miss you already. Conference is busy. Wish you were here. He read it twice. Later that evening, she called. Her voice sounded light, almost cheerful. How was the run? She asked. It was fine, he said carefully. Did you and Mom have fun? Ryan hesitated. She told me something. Silence. What did she say? Sophie asked quietly. He took a slow breath. She said there are parts of your past that aren't finished. The line went still. Rain tapped lightly against his window again. Sophie didn't answer right away, and in that long pause, Ryan realized the real race wasn't the one he ran that morning. It was the one waiting inside his marriage. How do you respond when silence says more than words ever could? Sophie did not answer right away. The pause on the phone stretched long and heavy. Ryan stood by the window, staring at the wet streets below his apartment. He could hear her breathing, soft but uneven. Mom shouldn't have said anything, Sophie finally whispered. That's not what I asked, Ryan replied calmly. Is it true? Another silence. This one felt sharper. I didn't want to worry you, she said. That's not an answer. He heard movement on her side, like she had stepped away from other people. Yes, she admitted. He messaged me. Ryan closed his eyes for a moment. The word felt simple. But it carried weight. How many times? He asked. A few, she said quickly. Nothing serious. Define serious. He asked how I was. We talked about work. That's it. Ryan let out a slow breath. And the photos? She froze. What photos? Your mom said she saw you looking at old pictures. There it was. The sound of her heart dropping through the phone. She had no right, Sophie said, her voice shaking. Did you still have feelings? Ryan asked quietly. I don't know, she answered, and that hurt more than anything else. He leaned against the wall. He wanted anger. He wanted shouting. Instead, he felt something colder, uncertainty. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. Because I thought it would pass, she said. I thought it was just curiosity. Curiosity about the man you almost married? Sophie's voice softened. Ryan, it ended badly. There were things left unsaid. When he wrote to me, it brought back memories. Not love. Just memories. Memories can turn into something else, Ryan replied. She didn't argue. Outside, a car passed, tires hissing against the wet road. Ryan felt like he was standing on thin ice, waiting for it to crack. Have you met him? He asked suddenly. No, she said fast. No. I swear. Have you planned to? There was a delay before she spoke. He asked if I would be open to coffee. I didn't answer. Ryan's chest tightened. You didn't say no? I didn't say yes either. That's not the same thing. He could hear the hurt in her breathing now. Why are you talking like I already betrayed you? She asked. Because you're halfway there, he said softly. Those words hung between them. I love you, Sophie said. Then why keep a door open to someone else? I wasn't keeping it open, she insisted. I just didn't close it properly. Ryan walked to the kitchen, needing space even though she was miles away. He poured a glass of water, but his hands trembled slightly. Are you still talking to him? He asked. Yes, she admitted. But not like you think. How do I think? That I'm running back to him. Ryan didn't respond. The truth was, he didn't know what to think. I needed closure, Sophie said. I never got to say goodbye the right way. You're married now, he replied. That was your goodbye. Her voice cracked a little. Marriage doesn't erase history. No, he agreed. But it should protect the future. The line went quiet again. After a moment, Sophie spoke carefully. Are you angry? I'm trying not to be, he answered honestly. Do you trust me? He hesitated, and she felt it. I want to, he said. But trust doesn't like secrets. She exhaled slowly. I'll stop talking to him. Will you? He asked. Yes. Or will you just hide it better? That question hurt her. He could hear it. I never cheated, she said firmly. I would never do that. I know, he replied. But emotional lines matter too. They both knew that was true. The conference noise returned faintly in the background. Sophie sounded tired now. I'll block him, she said. I'll delete everything. Do it because you want to, Ryan said. Not because you're scared. I'm not scared. Then what are you? She paused. Confused. The honesty surprised him. About him? Ryan asked. About myself. That answer felt more dangerous than any message. Ryan sat down at the table. His mind replayed every recent moment, the way Sophie had seemed distant, the late-night scrolling, the distracted smiles. Are you unhappy with me? He asked quietly. No, she said quickly. You're good to me. That's not what I asked. She hesitated again. Sometimes I wonder if we married too fast. The words hit him harder than expected. You said yes, he reminded her. I know. And now? I don't know, she whispered. That whisper felt like a crack spreading across glass. Ryan swallowed the lump in his throat. So what happens next? I come home tomorrow, she said. We talk face to face. Are you sure that's enough? It has to be. He nodded even though she couldn't see him. I'll end it with him tonight, she added. I promise. Ryan wanted to believe her. He truly did. But promises felt fragile now. Send me a screenshot, he said before he could stop himself. There was a long pause. You don't trust me at all, she asked softly. I'm trying to rebuild it. She sounded hurt. Okay. I will. They said goodbye, but it felt colder than usual. No playful words. No warm laughter. After the call ended, Ryan sat in silence. His phone remained in his hand. Minutes later, a message arrived. A screenshot. I can't keep talking. I'm married. Please don't contact me again. Below it, the man had replied, I understand. I hope you're happy. Ryan stared at those last words. I hope you're happy. He didn't know why, but that sentence unsettled him more than anything else. Was she happy, or was she convincing herself that she should be? Ryan looked at the clock. Sophie would land the next afternoon. He had less than 24 hours before everything became real, and for the first time since their wedding day, he wasn't sure what he would see in her eyes when she walked through the door. What if the truth finally arrives? But it only makes things harder. Ryan barely slept that night. He kept replaying the screenshot in his mind. I hope you're happy. The words felt simple, yet they echoed louder than anything else. By morning, his chest felt heavy. He went to work, but he couldn't focus. Emails stayed unread. Meetings passed without meaning. All he could think about was the moment Sophie would walk through the arrival gate at the airport. The crowd moved fast. People hugged, laughed, reunited. Ryan stood still. His heart beat faster when he saw her. Sophie walked toward him, suitcase rolling behind her. She looked tired, but when she saw him, her face softened. For a second, everything felt normal. She hugged him tightly. He held her, but something inside him held back. On the drive home, they made small talk. The flight was long. The conference was busy. The hotel food was terrible. Normal words. Normal tone. But beneath it, tension sat quietly between them. Once inside the apartment, silence grew louder. Sophie put her suitcase down. "We need to talk," she said. Ryan nodded. "Yeah. We do." They sat across from each other at the kitchen table. No phones. No distractions. "I ended it," Sophie began. "You saw the message." "I saw it," Ryan replied. "But I need to understand why it started." She took a slow breath. "When he first wrote, I didn't expect it to affect me. I thought I was past it. But reading his name, it brought back who I used to be." Ryan frowned slightly. "Who you used to be?" "Before responsibilities. Before marriage. Before everything felt so serious." "So being with me feels serious?" he asked. She looked at him gently. "Marriage is serious, Ryan. It's not a bad thing. It's just heavy sometimes." He leaned back. "Were you looking for something lighter?" "No," she said quickly. "I was looking for reassurance." "From him?" "From myself." That answer confused him. "I wanted to know I made the right choice," she admitted. "And did you?" he asked. She looked down at her hands. "I thought I did. I still think I did. But when he talked about the past, I started questioning everything." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Questioning us?" "Yes." The honesty stung. "Did you ever think about leaving?" he asked quietly. "No," she answered without hesitation. "I never planned to leave you." "But you thought about him." "Yes." The word was small but sharp. Ryan stood up and walked to the window. He needed air. "That's emotional cheating, Sophie." She flinched at the phrase. "I didn't cross any lines." "You crossed internal ones." Silence filled the room. "I didn't touch him." "I didn't meet him," she said firmly. "I know," Ryan replied. "But your heart was somewhere else." Tears formed in her eyes. "For a moment. Just a moment. A moment is enough to break something." Her voice shook. "Do you think I don't feel guilty?" He turned to face her. "Then why didn't you tell me when it started?" "Because I was ashamed." The truth hit harder than anger would have. She stood and walked closer. "I love you. I chose you. I'm still choosing you." Ryan searched her face for certainty. He saw regret. He saw fear. But he also saw confusion. "Are you happy?" he asked suddenly. The question froze her. "Yes," she said softly. "That's not strong enough." She closed her eyes briefly. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "That one day I'll wake up and realize I married the safe choice instead of the passionate one." The words felt like a slap. "And which one am I?" Ryan asked calmly. She swallowed. "You're safe." He nodded slowly. "And he was passion." "He was chaos," she corrected. "But chaos feels exciting." Ryan's heart pounded. "So I'm boring?" "No," she said quickly. "You're stable. You're kind. You're steady. Those aren't romantic words." She stepped closer. "They are to me." "But not enough," he said. She reached for his hand. He didn't pull away, but he didn't hold back either. "I was scared of losing myself in marriage," she said. "Not of losing you." "You almost did both." Her tears fell quietly now. "I ended it before it went too far." "How far would it have gone if your mom didn't say anything?" That question hung heavy. "I don't know," she admitted. Ryan's chest tightened again. "At least she wasn't lying." "I don't want a wife who wonders about someone else," he said. "And I don't want to be that wife," she whispered. They stood in silence, close but distant. "Then what do we do?" Sophie asked. Ryan thought for a long moment. "We stop pretending everything is perfect." It never was, she said softly, then we face it. She nodded slowly. Counseling? Maybe. You're willing to try, she asked. I'm not ready to quit. Relief flashed across her face, but understand something, he added. Trust isn't fully back. It will take time. I know, she said, and if I feel doubt again? Then we talk. Immediately. He studied her expression. It seemed sincere just then. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Both of them looked at it. Her face drained of color. Ryan's stomach tightened. Who is it? She hesitated. Sophie, he said firmly. She walked to the counter slowly and picked up the phone. She looked at the screen but didn't answer. Is it him? Ryan asked. She nodded. I blocked him, she said, confused. I swear. The phone kept vibrating. Ryan stepped closer. Answer it. She shook her head. I don't want to. It's better to face it. With trembling fingers, she answered and put it on speaker. There was silence for a second, then a male voice spoke calmly. Sophie, I know you said not to contact you. But there's something you need to know. Ryan felt his heartbeat in his ears. What? Sophie asked, her voice barely steady. It's about your mom, the man said. Both of them froze. What about her? Sophie whispered. The voice on the line hesitated, and what he said next made the air in the room feel suddenly very thin.